A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I welcome you all to 388th meeting or virtual meeting of Central India Toastmasters. Let me quickly start with sharing the club mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. It is that time of the year when chilly winds have started to set in. Some of my mates who are studying in colleges and schools are all set to give their exams. Others who are doing job are feeling a bit habitual. All we need to do sometimes is relax, sit back and reflect. Something which is coming up today will definitely give you a chance to reflect back on your journey and on your personality. Stay tuned for that. It's time now to introduce the president of the club. She is someone who I personally know as a student of life. She is deeply interested in economics and learning. She is someone with marvelous working ethics. Being in a team with her has always pushed me to my limits and learn more about myself. Help me welcome and let's hear us from let we all should hear now from someone who is a dreamer, a learner, and then an achiever. Toastmaster Gursifat Kaur Chhabda. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Karanveer, for such beautiful words. I request you all to pray for world peace for 30 seconds. Kindly open your eyes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and lovely guests. When I entered my college life, I was an introvert and shy teenager who always wanted to fit in this world. I was a nerd completely and I was completely engrossed in books all day. I wanted to adjust in my college, fit in with the people, but somehow my dreams and my aspirations never matched with the people in my college. But then, when I came to CDTM in March 2019, I found a totally different set of people here. People who were like minded, gem of people here, and I could actually get to know about myself. And eventually, with so many people around me who encouraged me, motivated me, pushed me, told me that Gursifit, you are not here to fit in, rather, you are here to stand out in this world. And CDTM is such a place with right set of mentors, with right set of people, we are motivated and pushed to go out of our limitations. And we are able to fit in with our own world and become better version of ourselves. CDTM has made numerous leaders, speakers, and even TEDx speakers, I would say. So, on that note, let's get to know our future leaders and future speakers of CDTM. Kindly introduce yourself by telling who you are, what do you do, and how did you come to know about Toastmasters. Let's start with our guest, Ritika. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, this is Haritika Ahuja from Turning Point Toastmasters. I got to know Toastmasters from one of my friends and joined Toastmasters in November 20. I love going to clubs to attend the meetings since they are online nowadays. I attended a meeting at CDTM last week and I loved the culture. I love the people here. So I'm coming here again. Looking forward to have wonderful meeting today also. Thank you and over to you.
You welcome you to CDTM. We also have amongst us Arushi Kapoor. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. So I came across Toastmaster through a TED Talk, and I happened to enroll today itself. This is my very first meeting, and it's a virtual one. I am a manager with the corporate, and I'm here to just experience what this is all about. It really intrigued me that there are various topics people talk about here, and there are some group discussions that happen. And I thought I should be a part of this, so here to experience it.
That's great. Lovely to have you. We also have Debraj with us. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, this is Devraj Sarkar from Hyderabad. I came across Toastmasters way back in 2014 when I was working for Infosys. I had even enrolled for it, but unfortunately I couldn't attend any of the sessions then because my shift timings were always clashing with the Toastmasters timings there. So much later, I came across one of the Toastmasters here, Divya Mishra, and she asked me to join today as a guest. So I wish to have a feel of what Toastmasters is all about.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you.
We also have Abhishek with us. Could you please introduce yourself? I think there are some network issues. Okay, let's call Kevin. Kevin, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry for that. So basically, I am a part of the Somaya Toastmasters Club, and it's pretty recent. I just joined in a couple of months ago, and that's I am doing an MBA from the college, and that's where I found out there's this thing called Toastmasters, and it's an amazing place where you can actually develop your public speaking skills and a very great platform to connect with people, to connect with people in the industry and stuff. So yeah, that's how I've got into Toastmasters.
We welcome you to CDTM.
Thanks.
We have Bhavna Malhotra with us. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. As you know, my name is Bhavna Malhotra, and I have attended last class as well. As I told you that I am also a member of Toastmaster Club. There is my mentor, and he suggested me if you want to improve yourself as soon as possible, so you can join any Toastmaster Club. So he suggested me. He told me and taught me that how can I join any Toastmaster Club. So I found your Toastmaster Club, and I believe that I will be learning so many things from you. So that's it for my side. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you for joining us. Now, let's introduce you to the host of the meeting, the TMOD. She is a digital marketer by profession, a creative star of our club. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Ishna Jain with her interesting theme, which word are you? Which word are you? Toastmaster Ishna Jain. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Introvert, extrovert, or another word. And yes, before you think about it, pervert is off the list. Have you ever wondered which word are you? Or do you fall in a different category? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the word party. No matter which word you are, this is your place to shine. Well, let's first know what we are going to do in today's party. As usual, the weekly party is divided into 3 sessions. The first section is that of the prepared speeches, where the speakers have put in time to prepare what they're going to speak. The second section is table topics. This is the impromptu speaking section, where you'll be given a topic on the spot and you have to speak on it for about a minute. The table topics master will be conducting this session. And a third session is the evaluation session, wherein we will be getting a feedback of whatever we have witnessed today. You know, until yesterday, which is when I started writing my script, I only knew three kinds of words. That is introvert, extrovert, and ambivert. The fourth word was omnivert. And no matter how interesting I found, the more I read about it, about all the four categories, the more confused I got. Which word do I fall in? Eventually, I ended up calling my friend, bro, I need your help. 2 a.m. in the night, three of us were on the call discussing introverts, extroverts, ambiverts, and omniverts. And she told me so much about it. I told her, okay, stop. We will talk about this later now. I've got to finish this as I cannot finish this today. So, does anybody know what an omnivert is? Any guesses? Any hints? Anyone who previously knows about it?
I have, may I
I think
speak?
who is present everywhere. Omnivert.
Toastmaster?
Bas-
No.
Basically, omni means the person who is present everywhere, and vert means to change. So, one who change everything. That's my word power made easy guess.
that kinds of makes sense.
Can I?
Because, yeah.
Yes, Toastmaster Divya.
So it's basically a combination of introvert and extrovert.
Okay. So anybody else wants to give it a go?
Someone who can like adjust according to the situation. Some cases he's an extrovert, and in some cases an introvert. Probably.
Close, very close. Yes, actually, yes. So basically, omniverts are extreme people. Like, they'll be extroverts at a certain point. Like, they can go to a party and be the life, the heart and soul of the party. But eventually, they go into the extremities of introverts. So, like, if I were an omnivert, I am not an omnivert. I can guarantee that now. If I were an omnivert, I would party all night. But then eventually, by the end of the day, I would want a lot of alone time. I would go into the zone of introversion. That's an omnivert. So, whereas ambivert, what's an ambivert now? Toastmaster Nitin, have you already researched like everything, or you're just like
Yeah,
bored?
actually, that person is a combination of introvert and extrovert. I mean, both the qualities are there in that person. 50% introvert, 50% extrovert. So
I was
that's an
under the
ambivert.
impre- I was under the
Bingo.
impression whatever is told that was for an ambivert. Please clear my doubt now. I'm confused.
We shall leave you in suspense for the moment. Okay, so ambiverts. So ambiverts are great. So ambiverts are in the middle of introversion and extroversion, whereas omniverts they play in the extremities. They're like at a point of time they'll be extroverts, completely extroverts. Like if they're in a party, they'll be the heart and soul of the party. They'll all get all their extrovert energies out. Whereas at the end of the day, they will they can go into the extremities of introverts. They play in the extremities basically. Okay, and introverts. This is an easy one. Okay, anybody except Nitin. I'm sorry, Nitin. I'm not. I'm not giving this one to you. Yes, guest Bhavna.
Thank you so much for your consideration towards me. In my opinion, introvert that person who want to who don't want to express ourselves. We can say who doesn't want to express his self. Like introvert means that person will not he will not speak to someone in front of anyone. Means he would he every that person every time wants to hide himself and herself. We can say that person is introvert. In my perspective, this meaning this word introvert. So now it's over to you.
Yes. So introverts are people who prefer calm and solitude and peace. So they focus more, like, it's not that they do not need people around them. We are humans. Everybody needs someone with them. But they like, if given an option, they would prefer to sit in peace. And extroverts. Come on. People. Yes, guess
Mhm.
Gayatri.
Mhm.
I think I just displayed what an extrovert is. An extrovert will not care about who is looking at me, who is thinking what about me, or will I make a fool of myself. An extrovert is someone who will enjoy making a fool of himself or herself, just like I did. So I think that is extrovert. You wouldn't care about what is happening around you. You want to talk, you will just go and talk. That is an extrovert.
I can guarantee you did not make a fool out of yourself. Extroverts are basically people who like to be surrounded by people almost all time. Like, as far as I have learned, guys, I'm not into psychology. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so let me move on. Else, I'm sure none of us want to sit post 9:15 here. Now, every party has a host, but the host can't function without certain members. Similarly, today we have a few role players without whom we cannot function. They will be telling you about the jobs that they've taken up today. We start with our timer, Toastmaster Akshat Goyal.
Okay, thank you. And first of all, I would like to say that it feels good to be back here after 3 to 4 months. And hello, everyone. Good evening. And my name is Akshat, and I will be playing the role of timer for today's meeting. And in my role, I will keep the track on the time everyone takes in their respective roles. And there are some time restrictions on the time that everyone is allowed to take, and I will announce that. First of all, the time limit for the icebreaker speech is 4 to 6 minutes, with a buffer time of 30 seconds on either side. For other speeches, the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes with buffer time of 30 seconds on either sides. For the table topic segment, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes with 30 seconds buffer time only on the upper side. And for the auxiliary role players, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes with 30 seconds buffer time. For the evaluators, the time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes with 30 seconds as buffer time on either sides. For the table topic evaluator, the time allotted is 4 to 5 minutes. And for the general evaluator, the time allotted is 8 to 10 minutes. And the buffer time is 30 seconds on either sides. So I wish everyone all the best, and over to TMOD.
Ashna, you're on mute.
Sorry. Toastmaster Akshat, could you also please enlighten us on how you will be telling us if we are in within the time limit or we're going out of
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
How
sure.
will you be indicating?
Yeah, sure. So for the icebreaker, I will show a green card at 4 minutes, a yellow card at 5 minutes, and a red card at 6 minutes. For other speeches, I will show a green card at 5 minutes, a yellow card at 6 minutes, and a red card at 7 minutes. For the table topic, I will show a green card at 1 minute, a yellow card at 1.5 minute, and a red card at 2 minutes. For the auxiliary role players, I will show a green card at 1 minute, a yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and a red card at 2 minutes. And for the evaluators, I will show a green card at 2 minutes, a yellow card at 2.5 minutes, and a red card at 3 minutes. For the table topic evaluator, I will show a green card at 4 minutes, a yellow card at 4.5 minutes, and a red card at 5 minutes. And for the general evaluator, I will show a green card at 8 minutes, a yellow card at 9 minutes, and a red card at 10 minutes. Over to TM.
Thank you. Next we have the language evaluator, Toastmaster Divya.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest. Well, I am going to be your language evaluator for today. Word of the day is exuberance. Before I start with exuberance, I was thinking, which word am I? I mean, I was it's the time of the day when I really need to rethink what word am I. I always had this misconception that I am an introvert since my childhood days. But after becoming an artist, I felt that I might be an extrovert, maybe a combination of both, I don't know. But on the other hand, I feel, is it really necessary to put a word in the end? Why we can't be more exuberant with your choices and have a new positive word every single day? So I thought I'm not going to tell anyone which word am I. I'm going to be a word according to the situation. So that's my take on word and exuberance at the same time. I will be noting down good usages and not so good usages in English. Mode of communication is English. Kindly translate into English if you are using any other language. And let's have a word party. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Divya. Next, we have the R counter, Toastmaster Karanveer.
Thanks, Toastmaster Ashna. Good evening, everyone. Around 3 years back, when I joined my college, in the very first week, I went to a seminar and I got a chance to speak on stage. They asked me to come on stage. I was not a Toastmaster back then. And I went on the stage and I was like, my name is Karanveer and I don't know. And I went blank there. After a couple of minutes, I put a lot of effort speaking, but there were definitely a lot of filler words. When I came back, the senior who was there, she said, don't worry, you are an introvert. It happens. I felt labeled there. I never knew if I was introvert or an extrovert or whatever word, but I definitely knew this was something which can be corrected. Here today as an R counter, my role will be to help all of us achieve that level of fluent communication by noting down all the filler words that we have in our speeches. Filler sounds like filler words like, literally, actually, unnecessary repetitions that we just make, some nervousness, or those fearful pauses that just happened with me back then. I am not sure which word are all of us, but one thing I'm definitely sure about is that we all are Toastmasters, and Toastmasters learn from their mistakes and learn from our counters. I will present my report during the evaluation segment. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karanveer. Next, we have the parliamentarian, Toastmaster Bhanu.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Bhanu Desing Human, and I'll be acting as the parliamentarian for today's meeting. And in that capacity, I would request everyone present here to mute yourself once you've spoken and when someone else is speaking. Keep your phone silent, avoid talking out of turn during the meeting, and avoid using negative references related to caste, gender, and politics. A very good meeting to everyone. Thank you. Back to the TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhanu. Next, we have the listener, Toastmaster Akriti.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are
Okay,
audible.
sorry for the delay. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, and a very good evening to all of you. So, when I read the theme of today's meeting a few days back, I was instantly reminded of a few years back when a group of my colleagues and I were discussing the very same thing. Which word are you? It's rather a common discussion. So for some people it came out very naturally. It was apparent in their social behavior, but I particularly faced a lot of difficulty. Uh, I could not relate to either of the side. I could not choose whether I'm an introvert or which side I belong to. It was at that point of time that a colleague of mine came to my rescue and told me that I was an ambivert. I did not know what an ambivert was at that point of time. But then later I studied and then I realized that the key to identify if you are an ambivert is to know if you have the capability of bending yourself according to the situation. So, taking a reference from the earlier discussion, like if I am present at a social gathering and I will I will switch myself to the extrovert side of me. But for example, if I'm with a group of people with whom I am not comfortable with, I will be the extreme or rather the moderate introvert side of me. So that is how you identify. But uh, contrary to a little popular opinion that has existed till now, I believe that it is important to know which word you are, or which where do you lie on the introversion or the extroversion scale. Why is that? Because it helps you increase your self awareness, it helps you with your emotional intelligence, and most importantly, helps you evaluate your performance in a better way. And just like self awareness is important, what is also what also yields fruits is awareness at a Toastmasters meeting. So, good evening, everyone. Akriti Jain, will be playing the role of listener in today's meeting. And as a listener, my role is to note interesting tidbits of information from every speaker and present questions to you towards the evaluation segment to know if that you were really aware of the meeting. So I request you all to be all ears for the next 1.5 hours, and I will meet you back towards the end of the meeting. So thank you. Back to the Toastmaster today.
Thank you, Roastmaster Akriti. So, I was in a dilemma yesterday whether I should ask all the role players as to, according to them, which side do they fall on. Then I realized instead of that, let's try something different. I hope the GE agrees to it. However, I was thinking that once we are through with the roles that we have to play, after what we had to after we've presented what we have in store, we try and come to a conclusion on which word are you and why do you feel that you fall in that category. Is everybody okay with it? Toastmasters, I am helpless without your interaction. Please help me.
Yes, sounds absolutely great.
Great. Thank you so much. So, like every party needs a kickstart, there is this one person who enters and the whole mood changes. So, today, let's call that one person the joke master of the evening, Toastmaster Shivali.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. So, I have two things for all of you. First, funny incident from my life, and the second one is a joke. Let's start with the funny thing. Few months back, I was teaching maths to my nephew. We were doing additions. I asked a question from his maths book. I asked, Kushag, if you had 13 apples, 12 grapes, 3 pineapples, and 3 strawberries, what would you have? He took a minute and then he replied, um, I would have a delicious fruit salad. My reply was, okay, then go and eat because you can't read. Moving towards the second joke, which I have prepared. Once in a classroom, teacher asked students, what is the chemical formula for water? One of the students replied, ma'am, it is HIJKLMNO. Teacher got confused and asked, what? What are you talking about? The student replied, ma'am, yesterday you said it was H2O. That's all from my side. Thank you so much. Over to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shivali. Hold on before you mute yourself. Come back to us. Come back to us. Toastmaster
Yes.
Shivali,
Yes.
you have an important question to answer. Which word are you?
Okay. So I would say that I don't feel I'm an introvert. So yeah, I'm extrovert. I can say that.
Okay, nice. You know, there are many myths about introverts. For example, shy people are often placed under the category of introverts. It's not true. There's a difference between introverts and shyness. Introverts are people who prefer solitude, whereas shy people are those who are anxious, or the thought of getting inside a social gathering makes them anxious and uncomfortable. It is something that they would try their best to avoid. And with that myth, I hope nobody contains that myth anymore. We move to our next session, which is the the speech section. So our first speaker today is Toastmaster Kashish Jain, who will be giving his icebreaker. Can I please request his evaluator, Toastmaster Gaganjeet, to share the objectives?
Thank you, Madam T.M. Modi. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today, Toastmaster Kashish Jain is here to deliver his first project from the Pathways. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself or herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. I wish the speaker best of luck for his first project. Back to the TMOD of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gaganjeet. Help me welcome Toastmaster Kashish Jain with his speech, My Life in My Words. My Life in My Words, Toastmaster Kashish Jain.
Thank you, Aishna, for inviting me. Beginning with a quote. When life throws challenges at you, be happy. It is planning something big for you. A warm greetings to all the fellow Toastmasters and the dear guests. My name is Kashish Jain, and I am ecstatic today as this is my first speech in the Toastmasters Club. I'm nervous too, but I believe that each and every opportunity gives us a chance to make progress. Let's take a time machine and move to our childhood days. I met my parents 18 years back, and I was so excited about the meeting that I forgot the dress code. I'm the second child of my parents. My brother is 7 years older than me. I was born in Karnal, a city in Haryana. My father is assistant commissioner in PF department. As it is a transferable job, he got transferred to Rohtak when I was 3 years of age. I spent 14 years of my life in Rohtak. I got admission in one of the reputed schools of that city. I was good in studies, and I often used to take participation in sports activities. Life is all about transitions. My first transition came when I was at the age of 11. I told my father that I want to be a cricketer. Take me to a cricket academy. My parents were in a wishy-washy situation now. They knew that it won't be easy to focus on both studies and cricket. But as someone said, where there's a will, there's a way. My parents saw my passion for cricket and they took me to a cricket academy. That day, my journey of cricket started and is still going on. Uh, um, uh, from that on, then onwards, I became very dedicated towards my goals. I worked very hard for it. When most of the children were fighting with their parents for 5 minutes more on bed, I was there running in the ground for improving my fitness levels. When most of the children were enjoying with their friends under air conditioner and was playing video games, I was there practicing in the hard sunlight. All these efforts helped me to improve my levels of game, and I got selected to represent Haryana. And uh, that year, Haryana won the North Zone for the first time. It was a breathtaking moment for me and my family. From the time I started playing cricket till now, I've changed many academies and coaches. But the person who has constantly trained me and someone who I admire the most is my father. His each and every advice has been very precious for me. Whenever I got stuck in any problem, either it be of cricket, sports, social, financial, he is always there for me. Thank you, Dad. If I succeed, all the credit goes to you. One of the legends, Rahul Dravid, said that focus equally on studies and cricket because only and only 11 players get the chance to play in Indian cricket team. And I also used to focus on studies too. After that quote, I scored 88% in my 10th standard and 91% in 12th standard. And currently, I am pursuing BA programming from Delhi University. 1 year back, my father got transferred uh, to the Indian capital, New Delhi. It took some time for all of us to get comfortable with the new atmosphere. And then comes March 2020. It locked all of us in our homes because of a doozy pandemic named COVID-19. We had two options left with us, either to work hard and upgrade ourselves or just sit idle, worry for the situation and scroll our phones wasting time. I chose option A. I boosted my fitness levels. I developed a new hobby of dancing. I joined Rotary Club, for an NGO for social service, uh, which I always wanted to do. And I also started preparation for a plan B in life, which is to clear civil services examination and serve my country. In between, one debate was held in which speaking English was compulsory, and it was quite difficult for me to take participation because from the past 5 to 6 years, I had been in an atmosphere where English was rarely spoken, especially in sports. But anyhow, I participated. I gave my speech of 3 minutes by stucking approximately 8 to 9 times. And then onwards, I was surrounded with a questionnaire round. And I was really felt underconfident that time. And that day, I got my why to improve my English. I didn't want it to feel undercomfortable, underconfident anymore. I that day my journey began of improving English and is still going on. And in this journey, Toastmasters Club has helped me to improve a lot. Summing up with a quote, never give up because it is getting tough today. When you will look back, you will feel proud of you that you didn't. Thank you, and over to the Toastmaster of the day. Thanks for being a good audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kashish. It was a great speech. So usually when we have our physical meetings, we usually give a standing ovation when it's the first project. So can I please request everybody to unmute themselves once and give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Kashish. Also, Toastmaster Kashish, please answer the question for the day. Which word are you?
I think I am an ambivert tilted towards the introvert side. My point of view. Because when I okay, it will get.
I meant high five. You can continue speaking. I'm sorry. Can we please take 30 seconds to give the speaker a feedback?
Sorry, I got.
No problems. Okay, moving on. Myth number 2 about introverts. Introverts don't like to be around people. False, false, and false. Introverts like to be around people, but instead of a gathering of 20 people, they might prefer a gathering of 2 or 4. In short, they prefer quality over quantity. With that, we move on to our speaker number 2, Toastmaster Rishabh. May I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Nitin, to please present the objectives of the speech.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Reshna. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Toastmaster Rishabh is delivering a speech of Level 1, Project 2, titled Evaluation and Feedback from the Pathways Engaging Humor. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. The time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Eshna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nitin. Can you please help me welcome Toastmaster Rishabh? Man versus Gentleman, a monologue. Man versus Gentleman, a monologue. Toastmaster Rishabh. Over to you.
Man versus Gentleman. Let me tell you what a stupid speech title it is. So who is a man? The one who is very macho? The one who has six-pack abs? The one who saved the woman from goons? Or the one who applied perfume? And all those stereotypical things about being a man. You know what? Long ago, there came a movie which had a dialogue. Mard ko dard nahi hota. When I heard that dialogue, I tried to hit my fist into the wall, and let me tell you, it pains. It actually pains, and I was so stupid that I was doubting my masculinity that day. You know what the problem is? In this world, Everyone needs Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, but no one is talking about being gentlemen. You know, what makes you a man? You do not become a man by shouting on a woman. You do not become a man by growing mustache. You do not become a man by applying perfume, impressing girls, and even you do not become a man by hiding your tears. You become a man when you respect everyone, every single individual. You know what? I love wearing pink. I even cook food when my mother is out. And I love doing this and I love doing all the household work. I do it with my choice. And you cannot call this anti-masculine. You know, in the society of stereotype, at times there is a hype. If you're a man, you have to be responsible. Let me tell you, there are times when we are overburdened with the responsibilities. Whenever a child is born, if she's a girl, Barbie dolls are given to play. If he's a boy, cards are given to play. I do not know who decide all these things. Well, there is a difference between men and women, and that difference is totally beautiful. I understand. But at the same time, I believe differentiating between men and women is a crime. There are many professions I may talk about, a complete roundabout, where women, though more talented and skilled than men, are paid less. And we talk about gender equality. Forget about this. I've even heard most of the time, men do not cry. Well, let me tell you, it was my sister's wedding. She was getting married, she was leaving us. I was the one who was getting emotional, so I was crying. I was totally crying. And my big brother came to me and he told me, "Hey, Rishabh, why are you crying? Men do not cry." I was like, why? Why do we have to hide the emotions? Why do we have to hide the tears? It feels we are wearing some fake armor of stainless steel to hide the emotions. We do have this heart, this 300-gram heart right here that beats with emotions. But men do not cry. I want to meet that person who created the definition of a man. Well, I do not want to change the definition. But yes, I want to need the explanation. You know what? In this world needs more and more gentlemen. And no one is stopping you in being gentle. It is you only coming into your path. It could be your ego. It could be your attitude. Well, it's a high time that keeping all the ego aside, keeping all that attitude aside, we shall start being gentle. Gentle with every single individual. Well, it is not necessary for you that you pull out the chair for a girl whom you have taken on a date. It is not necessary for you that you are opening the doors of the cars for the girls to impress them. But yes, it is totally necessary for you that you are the first one to raise your voice when you see anything wrong is happening to her. That makes you a gentleman, a true gentleman. You know, being a gentleman, you do not become a gentleman by your money, by your power. You become gentleman because being a gentleman is a matter of choice. You are a person of integrity. You are the man of your words. You do the right thing even when no one is watching you because that makes you a gentleman. You know what? It does not matter who you are. It does not matter where you are. You could be rich. You could be poor. You could be dark. You could be fair. But let me tell you this beautiful thing, that you are a true gem to the society. You are a true gem to the society, unless and until there lives a gentleman in you, a true gentleman. Thank you, everyone. That's all from my side. Back to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishabh. I will definitely keep that in mind next time my brother tries to slip in that line to me. Okay, please come back. You still have a question to answer. Which word are you?
Oh, well, I feel I'm an introvert. So it's like when I'm on a stage, I feel like I'm an extrovert. When I'm in amongst the audience, I'm an introvert. So it's totally subjective. It's situational.
Nice. Thank you. Can we please take 30 seconds to give feedback to the speaker? Our next speaker for the evening is Toastmaster Vivek. May I please request his evaluator, Toastmaster Ankit, to give the objectives of his speech?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, my dear guests, and a special good evening to Toastmaster Vivek, speaker for the day. Today, Toastmaster Vivek is going to deliver project number 5 from CC Manual. Your body speaks. Let's see what Toastmaster Vivek is going to achieve from today's speech. Objective number 1. Use stance, movement, gestures, facial expressions, and eye contact to express message and achieve speech purpose. Second objective, make body language smooth and natural. Allotted time is 5 to 7 minutes. So I hand over stage back to TMOD. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ankit. I'm sorry, I have another introvert myth which I would like to share. The myth says introverts cannot be public speakers or leaders. To that, just one fact. Bill Gates is an introvert. Need I say anything else? Please help me welcome Toastmaster Vivek. Find your passion. Find your passion, Toastmaster Vivek. Over to you. Is he not there?
Ashna, I think he has left the meeting.
So,
there are some network issues at his side.
okay.
We can call table topic master. We can continue with the meeting.
Okay. Okay. Now, okay, wait. Sorry. The difference between omniverts and ambiverts. I believe I have already told this. So would anybody like to revisit that area? Anybody.
What do you mean when you say revisit?
I mean, okay, so
Is this like a revision sort of stuff?
if you want to put it that way, sure.
Okay, sure. I mean, I don't mind if nobody else is taking this up. Should I go ahead? Yeah, so ambiverts are basically like not very in the middle, basically. They don't lean towards either of the sides and have quite a balanced kind of personality. As far as omniverts are concerned, they are, as you said, on the extremes. When, like, in situations, there are some situations they're extremely introverted, and in others, extremely extroverted and outgoing. So yeah, hope that
Thank you so much.
covers
Which
everything.
word are you, according to you?
Me, I think I'm an ambivert, leaning more towards the introvert side. I think I would say that.
Do all ambiverts feel that way? And like any more ambiverts in the house? Do you all feel that you're more towards the introvert side?
Ambivert, I think, is just
Yes,
a
I
word.
am an ambivert, but I'm more towards the extrovert side.
Yeah, I second TM Gayatri on this. I'm of the same category.
I also have some different thing that generally in public domain, I show myself as an extrovert person, like as you might, all might have seen in Toastmasters. But on personal domain, I am as introvert as hardest nut in the world. Means it is hard. It is really hard to get some of the secrets out of my mouth. Not let alone like talking about them. Thank you.
We shall crack that nut one day. I'm sorry, Deepak sir, I'm very curious. Which word are you? We can't leave a meeting without you not speaking now, so
You're asking me?
yes.
Oh, that's an interesting question. I used to think that I'm an extrovert, but I realized that I'm more of an ambivert than an extrovert. But Toastmasters has made me more of an extrovert in more ways than one. So therefore, I guess I change depending on the situation, and I prefer my alone time. But at the same time, I like the company of people, and I enjoy being with lots and lots of people, as I'm enjoying in this meeting, and I'm very exuberant to be a part of this meeting today.
Thank you so much. So now let's call upon our table topics master, Toastmaster Rajendra. He will be leading the table topics session. So put on your spontaneity caps, people. Did he leave the meeting too?
Yes, Toastmaster Rajendra is some technical issues. He was traveling and he isn't able to connect. Well, I have an interesting idea for today's table topic session. Why don't we have an impromptu table topic master? Would anyone like to go for it? An impromptu table master. Toastmaster Digant, here you go.
All right. So friends, I am in one of my most favorite sessions. This session I really call as my icebreaker session. Not my icebreaker, but everyone's icebreaker session. Because in this, we all enjoy as well, break the ice, as well as we share our thoughts. In table topics, it's not just you are being called upon stage and just you are asked to say anything, but it is like you're called upon the stage and club wants to know your thoughts on that particular topic. So in this session, I will be selecting some of the speakers who will be coming on the screen, and I will be giving them a topic. And you have to speak, and timer, please note that time allotted for each of the speaker is 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute green card, 1.5 minute yellow card or amber card, and 2 minutes red card. And there will be 30 seconds upper 30 seconds grace time on the upper side. With this, now let's have some of the volunteers who wants to come first. I want one experienced Toastmaster on the screen to show what it is like to speak in Toastmasters. All right, let's have Toastmaster Gayatri on the screen.
Thank you so much, Digant.
Toastmaster Gayatri, your topic for today is your first trip with nature. Your Toastmaster Gayatri, first trip with nature, first trip with nature, Toastmaster Gayatri.
Thank you so much, Digant. One of the most natural sources of energy is biogas plant. How many of you know what a biogas plant is? With a raise of hand. So biogas plant is basically the cow dung, buffalo dung all put together, and it's converted into a source of energy. It is basically like a swimming pool, except there is no water in the swimming pool. There is cow dung, buffalo dung, and all the other stuff. I was 4 years old, and my cousin sister was 5 years old. We were in this village called Daryapur. We were playing right next to the biogas plant. All the elders came and shouted at us. They scolded us. Don't play here. Naturally, we were told not to play there, so we went there. And not just that we went there, we actually stood on the parapet and started playing Ringa Ringa Roses. As we were playing Ringa Ringa Roses, two of my maternal uncles saw us and they anticipated what was going to happen the next. My cousin sister and I, both of us, fell in that biogas plant. We could have died because the biogas plant is not like a swimming pool where you can swim, you just drown. Somehow we got out of that plant. First, my mother washed me with water and then with anything that came in her hand, right from a broom to a balan, that is the rolling pin. I think that was my first encounter with nature because that is the closest to nature I ever got. And I decided that, okay, if elders are saying not to do certain thing, I will not do certain thing. And P.S. When you say that you are in deep shit, you are speaking figuratively. But when I say that I have been in a deep shit, I mean it literally. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thanks, Toastmaster Gayatri. I was really thrilled as well as amused after listening to your speech. It's really one of the marvelous speeches. Now, for another great topic, let me call on the screen another person. Can I have a raise of hand? I think Toastmaster Kevin wanted to come. I think Kevin wanted to come. Yeah. Hi, guest Kevin.
Hello.
Okay. So let's start with another word. So here we are. Here we are. Your topic is the crisis I averted. To guest Kevin, the crisis I averted, the crisis I averted, guest Kevin.
There are times when everything around you is working together, and it kind of gives you signs that whatever you are doing, there is something wrong that is going to happen. We have heard about this in many movies, dramas, TV serials, etc. But I actually experienced it. So we were going on a trek in Lonavala, and it was the monsoon. And that's the time when you go there. Acha, oh, yeah. For people who do not know where Lonavala is, it's a hill station near Mumbai, and it's pretty famous for excursions and weekend trips where people go there and have fun. And it's a wonderful place, full of greenery, very beautiful scenes. So we were on our way to Lonavala, and it was us. It was me and two of my other friends. Um, I am a pretty decent, obedient, no taking risk kind of a person, and so was one of my other friends. But there was this one guy called Vanshit who was there with us in this trip, and he is someone who cannot rest easy if he does not venture into the unknown. And as they say, peer pressure. So we also went there. What we did was very basic, very simple. On our way to Lonavala, there are many places where there's waterfalls happening, and many people go there to have fun, bathe and stuff. And that's what we wanted to do. When we were traveling there, like we parked our car just a few meters away, and we were going there. uh, One of the other people, like some other tourist who was there, realized that something was wrong, and he panicked and he shouted. We were all very scared about what was going to happen, and it was like, I think, momentary decision by me. Um I grappled one shit, and we rushed towards the car. We were not aware of what is going on or what is happening. We sat in the car, started the engine, and zoom, we took off. 30 to 35 seconds later, I think we hadn't even reached the next turn, and we realized the massive landslide happening, like all the plants, the rubble coming down. And that was, I still remember the moment. Um, I was sitting behind, the other friend was driving, and I looked at the rubble, and I just thank God that we we were able to get out of it. That's it from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, table topic master himself.
Thanks, sorry, guest Kevin. In fact, I was also like feeling adventurous, and I also remember the time when I went outside Mumbai, not to Lonavala, but to Pune, and what a nice trip it was. Now, help me welcome on the screen one of the veteran Toastmasters of our club and one of the cheerful personalities, Toastmaster Gurpreet.
Hi, Digant.
Hi.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Toastmaster Gurpreet,
Okay.
your topic is my first road trip on bike. First road trip on bike. Okay. So, Toastmaster Gurpreet, first road trip on bike. First road trip on bike. Toastmaster Gurpreet.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. It's feels good to be back after quite a long time. So when I just started to my studies in my graduation school, graduation college, that is it's Khalsa College in North Campus. There was a famous quote there that if you have to have a bike, it cannot be other than, I would say the pronunciation bolt, other than the bolt. So that was a deal with me and my father that once I start with my college, I need to have a bike and it cannot be something other than Bolt or For other people, it's like classic Royal Enfield. So that was a deal. And okay, when I was about to start, the first day of the college came and to, and we got to the dealer, so to get the bike. So now the thing was that I have to learn how to drive it. And my first road trip, that was my first road trip. I didn't ride a bike before because was using scooties and all. So my first road trip was on a highway. So we got the bike, and my father said, "Okay, now drive." And that was on the GT Canal highway that I was driving, and that was something okay. I have to drive a bike, and that too on the highway itself. But I was shocked by the confidence by my father giving me that, "Okay, go ahead, I am with you." And it was quite a nice trip. Okay, we learned a few. So I was riding on the side, different things. But nonetheless, having a bike and riding it, first of all, two three things if you have to say right now is that one, you should be wearing a helmet always, ride safely, and thirdly, don't show off stunts and all. A big no. Ride safely, use it as a means of commuting, and then enjoy. Thank you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Gurpreet. I am now feeling much more motivated to restart training upon riding a bike now. I have some of the not so good experiences with bike, but now I'm motivated. With this, now help me welcome on the screen guest Soumya. Hi Soumya.
Hi everyone.
Soumya, your topic is my favorite advertisement. Some guess Soumya, my favorite advertisement, guest Soumya.
Okay. Uh, my favorite advertisement would be the recent Google advertisement. I'm sure you must have seen, the advertisement where the lady, the girl says that okay, she's looking for a, coaching or um, coaching or an external help, and then suddenly there's a next screen where where they show a lady who is a coaching teacher, and she's willing to offer her help. So why that advertisement is my favorite, because it I have noticed that advertisement is something that is not just about marketing, but it also connects one person to the other person. um, and I feel that advertisement doesn't always mean that you sell the product to the person. It also means that you sell emotion. You connect with people. You go deep into the chords. And um, and i'm and and, and that's what I have really liked about that advertisement. And they have also used the song humne tumko dekha tumne humko dekha. I don't know if you guys remember it, but I really like the old song touch that they gave to that advertisement. So yeah, that that would be my favorite advertisement.
Thanks, guest Soumya. In fact, now I will, first of all, after logging out of meeting, I will definitely go on YouTube and watch that advertisement of Google that you have mentioned. Now help me welcome on the screen Toastmaster Akriti.
Hello.
Hello Akriti. So generally, as most of us are in India, we face this beautiful concept called power outage. Yes, in Delhi it is less, but honestly, in Delhi also it is there. So, to our rescue, there comes a nice being called inverter. So, Toastmaster Akriti, me and my inverter, me and my inverter, Toastmaster Akriti.
Thank you, TM Digant. Rather a very innovative topic. I uh, I remember a time that when I was very young, I remember that an inverter was literally a delight's best friend because the light used to go out so frequently in Delhi. I don't know if everybody is able to relate to that or not, but I live in East Delhi, and people who live in East Delhi are bang on going to relate to that. So an inverter was the best friend, but also it turned out to be pretty hectic because uh, at the time when I was young, what used to happen in inverter was that you need to refill water after you use it for a couple of times to let it regain back its energy. So what happened that my mother and father used to have a little argument about who is actually going to fill water, and in the middle of that, wherever they used to both of them used to forget, and we as children used to be like awestruck. We were like, none of you filled it, and then we were just under the under the stars in the night and sitting in the balcony wondering when will light come back. So that is one incident that I remember. But gradually, as we have grown up, thanks to Kejriwal or thanks to the electric uh, advancement of the country, the light has been the connection has been pretty well now, especially in Delhi. And I think I've had sort of a breakup, sort of a relationship with my inverter. So we are on and off, mostly off these days. So that is about it. Thank you. And back to the tabletop master.
Thanks, Toastmaster Akriti. That was really amusing and humorous speech that I found. Now, timer, are we having time for one more topic or is it done? Okay.
No, I think we are done.
Yeah, all right. So let's wrap up this uh, session. But before that, let's have poll for best table topic speaker. Timer, may I know if there are any disqualifications? Hello? Timer, are there any disqualifications?
Yes.
Toastmaster Digant, we will take care of it like in the chat box, in the private chat. I would request everyone to vote for the best speaker for now.
After 15 seconds, we can start. 10 seconds, we can start that. If it's okay with you, Tech Master.
We are done with the voting. Thank you, everyone.
We are done? Okay. Thanks, everyone, for being such a nice audience of our this beautiful session. And now I'm handing back the stage to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ishna Jan. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Digant. This was indeed a new table topics where the table topics master is also spontaneous. Amazing. Also, I forgot to put out the ballots for the speakers. So can we please have that as well? Or shall we do it later?
Are the ballots visible?
Yes.
All right. Ten more seconds. We are done with the voting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karanveer. So again, yesterday when I was talking to my friend, eventually she told me there are 16 types of personalities. And then she took me into further technicalities, which kind of bounced off my head. the little that I understood, I am definitely not gonna get into that because I'm not in a position to explain it because I'm a little about it. So, with that, now we move on to our next session, which is the evaluation session, which will be conducted by the President, Toastmaster Gursifat Kaur.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ishna Jain. Good evening to everyone once again. Once my sister came to me and she asked me, Gursifat, can you give me suggestion for your stand-up comedy? And because of so many evaluations given here at Toastmasters, I was able to give her appropriate evaluation. And I knew that she could do a lot better than what she did it on her video. And in 1 week, it was her stand-up comedy, her very first stand-up comedy. Listening to the video, I gave a few suggestions on giving effective pauses, some humorous punchlines, and working upon her content, through which she did really well and delivered it. And it was well posted on one of the social media pages as well. So, a great job done by my evaluation through Toastmasters. She got a really good evaluation. Coming next, I'll be playing the role of general evaluator in today's session, and I'll be calling evaluators first, and who will be evaluating the speeches. Then I'll be calling the table topic evaluator, who will be doing the marathon of evaluations. Then I'll be calling the pillars of a meeting, the auxiliary role players, and last of all, I'll be giving the general evaluation of the meeting. So, evaluation is really important in our life as it helps us to improve on a daily basis and helps to check our progress. So, on that note, let's call our first evaluator, who is also a former vice president membership and eloquent speaker. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Gaganjeet, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Kashish icebreaker speech.
Imagine having to narrate your life story from the last 20, 25 years of your life in just 4 to 6 minutes. Such a daunting task, isn't it? For that alone, today's Toastmaster Kashish Jain has has done a fabulous job in squeezing his life into just in a narration of 4 to 6 minutes. And for that alone, I feel that the speaker deserves a huge round of applause from my side and all of you. One of the objectives of the speech was for the speaker to introduce himself to the club and the audience. And I believe that the speaker was not only with his honesty, but his hard work was able to achieve and blast away this objective to the moon. He had a chronological structure in his speech, which included his birthplace, his childhood memories, his life in Karnal, where he was born, his father's job, all about his family. All of this information gave the audience an idea about where he comes from. And not only that, the highlight of the speech was when the speaker transitioned into his early teenage years, where his love for cricket was blooming. The speech started taking a shape of its own, because now it was becoming not just an icebreaker, it was becoming an inspiring story, which was very motivating for all of us. The struggles in the ground of cricket as a sportsman, leading to representing the Haryana cricket state team and then winning some matches. Cut to fast forward years in the current COVID times, choosing to work instead of being stagnant, and then facing any challenges with the language and giving it an actionable outcome was in itself an evidence of what this speaker is here to do today. It was not only an icebreaker, it was a motivational recount from personal experiences. The speaker paid homage to his father in between, which also showed the strength of his character and the positive values, giving the audience an excellent view of what the speaker is really about. There couldn't be a better introduction. The only way I feel that the speaker and this speech would be improved is by working on the transitions part from one section to the other one. At certain places, I feel that uh, the sections were divided into personal life, which then led to the 11-year story, his love for the cricket, then his and his father's relationship, the speakers and his father's relationship. At certain instances, these sections require certain transitions, which helps audience in the assimilation of thoughts. It helps the audience understand and commit to the idea which the speaker is trying to convey. So, for example, when he transitioned from his personal life to the story of cricket, he used a quote. He said that life's all about transitions, and one such transition came when I was 11 years of age. This was a perfect example of transition, and this can also be used in other sections. The other recommendation I feel is that some sections felt rushed, and I feel that the speaker can take a little more time into explaining such sections a little more. So, for example, we, I, I personally, as an audience, I long to hear how the speaker, what kind of a relationship he shared with his father. So I feel he could have maybe elaborated that a little more, so that I could have maybe understood in it in a more depth. So certain sections, I feel certain segments, the speaker could maybe elaborate a little more, and that will help the audience commit to the idea. Otherwise, on the front of comfort, the speaker was constantly smiling. He was comfortable. He was well prepared. He had no notes in his hands. Uh, the hard work was really visible. The delivery style was earnest, as the speaker was standing and using his entire body. Concluded with a strong message: never give up, because it's getting tough today. You'll be proud of what you achieved when you look back. Entirely, to conclude my evaluation, I would like to say that it was not just an icebreaker for me, it was a sneak peek into the speaker's potential. And I feel the speaker is going to do wonders with this club in his future projects. That was all from my side. Back to the TMOD, the journal evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gagandeep, for such a detailed evaluation. Now, let's hear from our enthusiastic member, Toastmaster Nitin, who will be evaluating the amazing speech of Toastmaster Rishabh Kumar Anand. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. A very good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Wow, what a great speech it was. The speaker was confident throughout his speech. The speaker quickly captured the audience's attention by asking a question: who is a man? Then he very enthusiastically explained the difference between being a man and being a gentleman. He then explained that being a gentleman is the need of the hour and how it would impact the society as a whole, which shows that the speaker had a very great content and it was a very thought provoking content. So, kudos on that. And it also motivates us to become a gentleman in every aspect of our life. The speaker also had a constant smile on his face, which helped everyone to relate to the content which he was delivering, and it made everyone hooked to his words. So again, the job well done. The speaker used a personal anecdote describing of how he felt emotional, very emotional, when his sister was getting married. So then the speaker explained the differences between being a boy and a girl. So the speaker was well prepared with his content. So the job well done. As they say, every speech has a scope of improvement. So I would like to recommend the speaker that he could have used hand gestures in moderation. I can see that he was using excessive hand gestures, which actually distracts the audience to what he was saying, and people might miss some of the contents which he was delivering. So he can work on that. My second recommendation would be that he could have added one act or one incident of how he was a gentleman to the society, so that which it could have helped us to relate to the topic more, and it would have created a long lasting impact to the audience. All in all, I can say that it was an exuberant speech. The speaker used effective pauses. The speaker touched all the aspects of his topic, and he was calm and composed. As usual, Toastmaster Rishabh always impresses his audience by his way of speaking and the style in which he delivers his speeches. So I would love to hear more speeches from the speaker in the future too. And I wish him all the best for his future projects. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Gursifat.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nitin. Now let's have with us the table topic evaluator, who is the member of the month for November and also our treasurer of the club. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Karthik Bhatia, who will be giving marathon of evaluations.
Thank you, Gursifat, for that introduction. Well, before I begin my evaluation, before I say anything, I would request all of you to first unmute yourself and really clap for Toastmaster Digant for showing his hand up and saying, yes, I will conduct the session, and really coming up with great table topics on the fly. Well, thank you, Devant, for really being the true leader that we all of us in Toastmasters aspire to be. Well, as they say, feedback makes one better, and it gives us an opportunity to improve without really even going into the fact if the speakers today were charming or not in their speeches. Just the act of speaking impromptu in itself, I would say, it gives a big boost to your self confidence. Well, having said that, we at Toastmasters believe in making leaders, and hence we should really learn to be the charmers, even if you are speaking impromptu. Today, I will give the evaluation to all the table topic speakers, some feedback on the areas where they did well, and or on the areas they can improve. Beginning with, we had Toastmaster Gayatri with the topic First Trip with Nature. Well, when Toastmaster Gayatri started her speech, she started by asking a question about biomass gas. I mean, at first, I was a little confused hearing about biomass gas and nature. But yes, there was a revelation at the end. So, which is what I really liked about being scientific, being funny, and also really connecting to the topic, taking us on a journey of an anecdotal story from childhood. The ending was just spot on. Drop the mic moment, figurative and literative and literal with the saying. An ideal table topic to everyone, I would say. Whatever the topic is, you have a story in your mind and you go ahead with it. But one only recommendation, because I feel Toastmaster Gayatri to be a pro, some more humor could be added, right? I mean, the story was really funny. You could have just made it more humorous. Going to the second speaker, it was Kevin. The topic was crisis I averted. Again, a direct connect with the topic by saying, have you ever felt that there are times where you were in a place where you couldn't be? And also, there was a great attempt in creating visualization of the journey that the Toastmaster went through, and really created like a sort of big picture of hills and treks that really all took us to a place. But somehow he lost the plot in the middle, and hence the recommendation here. When you are really trying to speak in just 1 minute, try to cut down on the details. I mean, if you've been really if you're being talked about one topic, you've already clicked with it, just get on to the real funny part or the ending part, put a point around it and hinge your story. The tone I felt, if I were really taking a podcast with you, I would really like it, the whole story that you were trying to elaborately tell. But if it's a 1 minute speech, just take a point, hinge your story around it. Then next was Gurpreet Babbar, Toastmaster Gurpreet Babbar. My first road trip on bike. Again, started things off by taking some time, which is a good indication that the speaker is trying to think something off before speaking, a really good indication. And also added some punches by saying bolt, which again, things that grab people's attention. added some humor and then suspense by saying he never actually rode a bike before his first bike trip, the first long bike trip. Then also, what I liked was the social level conclusion. Wear helmets, don't do sort of nasty things that we Delhiites are famous for. So a good thing to add at the end. Again, because Toastmaster Gurpreet, I feel, is a veteran Toastmaster, some more humor could be added. Then guest Soumya, my favorite advertisement, she tried to build a personal connect with the ad by talking about the song and the excitement and what touched her in that particular ad. It was a good way to start things off, but only one recommendation. Talk less about the ad. You took some time in explaining the ad about the theatrics of the ad. We get you. Just say this was the ad that shows good relation between a coach and a student. That's it. Now talk about your personal things. And also, if you're falling short of content at any point, take things back to the audience. Just say, I am sure all of you would have been a student ever in your life, and you would have felt this big connect with the coach and the student. Last speaker was Toastmaster Akriti Jan. Topic was me and my inverter. To start things off, it really she started her speech in a very jovial mood, which was very enjoyable to listen to a story where someone is really telling it from a feeling of childhood. We used to go out under the stars and also put a small story about how no one would fill the water in the inverter, and yes, they wouldn't really have electricity. So it really felt like a good story if I were to ask. If I were to ask her, a 13 or 15-year-old, told with all the joy, but only one recommendation, just add some voice modulation in your story and it would be a very great speech. Thank you. That's it from my end. Back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik Bhatia. Let's go on to the pillars of our meeting, without whom the meeting is totally incomplete. First of all, let's have Toastmaster Akshat, who was noting the timings of the meeting, and he is someone who is back in the club after 4 months. Over to you, Toastmaster Akshat.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gusipat. So I was taking note down of the time everyone took in their respective roles. So Toastmaster Kashish took in his icebreaker speech 6 minutes 40 seconds. Toastmaster Rishabh took 6 minutes 15 seconds. In the table topic segments, guest Gayatri took 2 minutes 14 seconds. Guest Kevan took 2 minutes and 57 seconds. Toastmaster Gurpreet took 2 minutes 4 seconds. Guest Soumya took 1 minute and 45 seconds. Toastmaster Akriti took 1 minute 40 seconds. And in the evaluation segment, Toastmaster Gaganjit took 4 minutes 57 seconds. Toastmaster Nitin took 2 minutes 43 seconds. And for the table topic segment, Toastmaster Karthik took 5 minutes 25 seconds. That's it from my side. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akshat, for such a detailed evaluation. Now let's come to our language evaluator. Our word of the day was exuberant, which was given by Toastmaster Divya, and she was noting the good usages and not so good usages of the word. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Divya Mishra.
Thank you so much. It was a great word party, and while I was evaluating everyone, I got evaluated myself, and it was lovely to learn a lot from everyone. So, let me start with a few usages which could have been replaced by something beautiful. A lot of you said, sorry. You could have said, pardon me. Then someone said, I was at the age of 11. They could have said, I was just 11. Then I would like to take an opportunity to tell everyone this is not represent, we say it represent. Then another usage which could have been replaced was I was uncomfortable. You could have used I was uncomfortable. Then we have one line which could have been replaced by the line was squeezing his life in his speech, which could have been replaced by summarized his life. Good words which was introduced was awestruck, then we had revelation, and the word of the day was used by one and only Deepak sir, exuberance. So everyone was quite exuberant, and I loved everything about today. Thank you so much, and back to you, Gursafat.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Divya. Now let's call our Vice President Public Relationship, who was counting the ers and ums from her mouth. Please have me welcome Toastmaster Karanveer.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. It was really an interesting journey on noting down R's and nums for everyone today. Toastmaster Ashna, Toastmaster of the day, had 5 R's, and she had few instances of okay, so, which were a bit disrupting. Toastmaster Gursafat has 3 R's till now. Toastmaster Gaganjeet had 1 R. Toastmaster Kashish had 5 R's and 2 Ums. Toastmaster Akriti had a couple of no's which were unintended. Toastmaster Digant had so many R's and so his filler word, favorite filler word. Toastmaster Gurpreet said okay for 4 or 5 times. So between his words, he used to say okay, which I felt was a bit disrupting and can be avoided. Soumya had 4 R's and 2 Unos. Toastmaster Karthik had 2 R's. Now, as what I think is we did amazing on this count, because I have seen my R counter report when I was sitting in one of my lectures. The professors in Indian colleges make a number of filler sounds, and we all can improve our R counter skills there. But today, if we want to improve our filler sounds, one thing that I will suggest is one is to acknowledge, of course, we are acknowledging it here by counting, and second is to embrace the pauses. One thing is instead of saying just pause. So that's all from my side. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you for the intense report, Toastmaster Karanveer. Now let's call Toastmaster Bhanu, who was the monitor of the class, I mean the parliamentarian. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Bhanu.
Hello. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. The meeting started on time, and despite some last-minute issues, all the sections were carried out smoothly. There were a few instances where network and noise-related disturbances were noted. I would request the participants to be mindful of the same. Otherwise, everyone followed proper etiquette during the meeting and muted and unmuted themselves at the appropriate times. All in all, this was a wonderful and very insightful word party. Thanks to all the exuberant participants. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for the crisp report, Toastmaster Bhanu. Now let's call our goody girl, which we used to call in our offline meetings. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Akriti Jain.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So now it's time to test your listening skills. Let me straight up put up the questions. So the first is that what sport did TM Kashish said that he was passionate about, and which city did he represent in the national level competition of that sport? So we have any volunteer? Oh, quite a lot. Yes, against Gurpreet.
He's passionate about playing cricket and he represented Haryana at state level.
Awesome. That's
And from
correct.
Rohtak, from Rohtak.
Yes, absolutely correct. So he's passionate about cricket and he did represent Haryana in the national level competitions. The second question is that TM Kashish quoted that focus on both studies and cricket because eventually only 11 players are going to land in the international team. So which cricketer's quote was this when he quoted this? Okay, Tech Master Karunvi, would you like to answer?
I would jointly answer with Harita, which is Dul Dravid.
Yes, yes.
Haritika.
Both of you are correct.
Basket
It was
name.
hello. Yeah, so both of you are correct. It is Ram Dravid. And okay, so the next question is, I think now we are slipping to a slightly a difficult level of question. So the next is that what stereotypical quality of a man the stereotypical, whatever we believe in the society generally, what stereotypical quality of a man did TM Rishabh tried to test by punching in the wall? What was that quality that he was trying to prove? Okay, TM Gayatri, would you like to answer?
मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता, but he also said that it did hurt him a lot.
Yes, you're right. So, as I mard ko dard nahi hota is the right answer, or as I would like to translate it, pain does not bestow upon a man, which is definitely not correct. So, okay, so the next question is, and probably the last one. So, TM Gayatri mentioned a bioplant which colored her from head to toe. So, which place is that bioplant situated? Okay, no one. Yeah, I thought I put up an extremely difficult question. Pardon me if I'm unable to. Okay, since we have no volunteers, the answer is Daryapur. And I think since we're short of time, let me wrap it up. Thank you, and I believe that we have an exuberant audience today. Thank you, and back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akriti, for conducting such a lively session. Now let's start the report. Before that, let's have the ballot for the best evaluator. Karanvi, can we have the ballots? We have Toastmaster Gaganji, Toastmaster Nitin Gautam, and Toastmaster Karthik Bhatia. It's done. And now can we have the ballots for the best Auxi role player? Keep voting. It's done. Thank you so much, everyone. Now let's have the general evaluators report. First of all, coming to the Surgeon Arms, our acting Surgeon Arms, you were really enthusiastic. You mentioned the mission very well, and you introduced the president of the club very professionally and creatively. You brought exuberance in the meeting. Overall, a great job done by you. Coming to our TMOD, Ishna Jain. You performed the role the second time. It was great to hear from you. You started really well, a bang on that. You had humorous punches. You briefly explained the segments of the meeting, and your content was full of staggering stories in the starting. But I felt that you could have added more content throughout, as I felt personally that preparation was lacking on your side. It was great to have you asking questions at the end, but I felt that if a little bit more content about extroverts, ambiverts, and omniverts, and much of content could be added, it would have uh, taken your TMOD to the next level. And you forgot to call the ballots of the speaker at the starting, but you called it at the end, so you managed it. Overall, good job done by you. Coming to our table topic master, first of all, kudos to you for taking it impromptu. Good to have you. And the topics were really great, and you managed impromptu really well. One suggestion for you is that you could have explained your role really well. You could have mentioned that guests can participate about the timings of the table topic. Otherwise, all in all, you managed it really well at the impromptu session. Then coming to our evaluators, you both had the evaluators of the speeches. You both had a detailed evaluation. You also followed CRC approach. Suggestion from my side is to summarize it so that it can be registered in the minds of the speaker. And the second suggestion is to mention the takeaway so that what you learn from their speech is also being shown in the evaluation. Coming to our table topic evaluator, kudos to you for evaluating 5 table topics. I know it's a very difficult job. You evaluated, you gave 1 R, 1C. Great job on that. You connected with the audience also really well. The suggestion or the feedback from my side is to also evaluate on the spontaneity and the comfortability of the speaker. All in all, it was a fantastic job done by you. Now coming to the auxiliary role players. First of all, the timer of the meeting. We had you after a long time. You mentioned your role really well. My suggestion for you is to mention about whether you will be showing the screen or the cards so that the speakers are well prepared what they will be seeing, and accordingly they can pin the screen. Overall, you connected with the theme of the meeting as well. Coming to our language evaluator, you had a great starting and you also connected with the theme of the meeting. One thing was missed by you was to acknowledge the word of the day if it's used by some member of the club. A speaker feels really encouraged if a thumbs up is shown. So probably you can take care of that. Coming to the R counter of the meeting, Toastmaster Karanveer, you had a humorous starting. Kudos on that. Um, my feedback for you is to have a detailed explanation of the ers and ums, of the filler sounds, of the filler words, of the repetitions, and what can be done in order to improve it. Otherwise, your report was really intense. Coming to our debutant role player, Toastmaster Bhanu. For the very first role, you did an amazing job. You covered all the points almost. So great. Now coming to our listener of the meeting, Toastmaster Akriti. You explained the role really well. You connected to the theme of the meeting as well. Uh, and a great session. My feedback for you is to keep it in time limits as you cross the time. So by practicing and recording it, you can see the time limits. Now coming to our former VP at Toastmaster Shivali, who was performing the role of joke master. Both your jokes were related to studies, that's maths and chemistry. It was great. We all had a great laugh. For you, what you can do is you can add maybe 2 or more jokes, or you can extend the incident whichever way you like, as you had almost more than a minute for yourself. Otherwise, you were able to tickle our funny bones. Now coming to the overall meeting, it was a great meeting. We all had fun by the table topic master as well as the TMOD was really interesting. Kudos to everyone. I would like to hand over the stage to our TMOD Toastmaster Ishna Jain. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam President. You know, just now my dog entered my room and I was wondering if dogs also are introvert, ambivert, omnivert, extrovert, or some other word altogether. But then I thought, aren't humans enough to get into that discussion? Why do you want to drag dogs into it? In short, it doesn't matter whether you want to enjoy life by going out to a club, partying with 20 people, or sitting in a corner of your house reading a book and drinking coffee. It doesn't matter as long as you like to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone has their own way to enjoy life. Some might go to a club, some might sit in a corner, some might go out to play, some might just sit with their dog and have them chew your t-shirts. Whereas some may just sit with a great friend and spend hours and hours together. So let's not judge people who are different from us. Let's accept them for the way they are. And also, let's not judge ourselves. Let's accept us for who we are and be comfortable with whoever we are. With that, I would like to give the stage back to our president, Toastmaster Gursifat.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ishna Jain. I request you all to vote for the best role player. We have the polls. We have TMOD as Ishna Jain. We have Table Topic Master as Toastmaster Digan, our Impromptu Master, and we have General Evaluator as me. Keep on voting. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay. We have the results with us. I request you all to kindly unmute yourself and open your cameras as well. So the best speaker award goes to
Rishabh.
It goes to Toastmaster Rishabh Kumar Anand. Best Evaluator Award.
Karthik.
Karthik.
Yeah, it goes to Toastmaster Karthik Bhatia. Best Auxi Role Player Award.
Akriti.
It goes to a language evaluator, Toastmaster Divya Mishra. Best Table Topic Speaker.
Gayatri.
Well, it goes to Toastmaster Gayatri.
Thank you so much.
Best Role Player Award.
Ishna.
I think.
It goes to someone who took the role impromptu, Toastmaster Digan Mittal. Congratulations, everyone. You all did a great job. Now let's have a picture. I request you all to open your cameras. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good weekday and weekends ahead. I hereby officially end the meeting. I request the guests to stay for the briefing, which will be conducted by our VPM Toastmaster Nitin Gautam.